Hey, you want to save 20% off of everything in the store? Then show up on the 20th of every month, because the 20th is Founders Day here at Alternate Reality. And on Founders Day, everything except this week's new comics and bulk supplies is 20% off. That's right, every single thing in the store is 20% off every 20th here at Alternate Reality.
Me? I never look back. But Comic Book Man? He can't move on unless he reviews this past week. Big baby.
Everybody lives, Rose. Just this once. Everybody lives!
Just like we promised, it's Week in Review, Part 2, January 26th, 2011.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome to my video outhouse. This is part 2 of Week in Review for January the 26th, 2011. This is going to be the Shop Talk side of Week in Review. Be sure to check out Week in Review Part 1, where I covered all of this week's shipping for January 26th. This time, though, we're going to do a Shop Talk because there's so much media and so much comic book news coming out this week, and there's so many comics that ship this week. We're breaking up the show a little bit so that we can have more time to talk about all the wonderful, wonderful events over the last week. And joining me, of course, for Shop Talk, it's not a monologue, are my good pals.
Hello, boys.
Good old Bo and even gooder old JR.
Hey, gooder and older.
Gooder old.
I'm here making Lord's High.
He's making Lawrence high. Give me that cap for that damn thing. This week, week of January 26th, a bunch of stuff happened. Deaths being at the top of the list, and these two right here, were the first things announced this week. Everybody's waiting for something else, and we're going to get to that something else. But this was the very first thing that was announced this week, was the death of Wizard and Toy Fair.
And Charlie Callis.
You know what's really weird about this? What do these two have in common?
Lean forward, Bo.
Well, they're both by Wizard Press.
Well, no, they both have Green Lantern on the cover. And yet, so Green Lantern killed both of them.
Wizard first came out 20 years ago, almost in 1991.
It was actually readable back then.
And its sister publication Toy Fair, back in the late 90s, I believe. It came out in the late 90s. But anyway, since these magazines have come out, the comic book world has changed over a number of times. We had the end of the speculator boom, which this sort of kind of ushered in. This used to have a price guide, then it lost a price guide. This used to have a crossword puzzle, then it lost its crossword puzzle.
Used to be bigger, then it got smaller.
Used to be bigger, then it got way smaller.
Used to have news, and now it's got news everybody's already heard and read already.
And one of the things that happened along the way is they bought comic book conventions, specifically here in Chicago, the Chicago Comic Con, but a lot of other comic book conventions. As a matter of fact, now they're at the point where they have 12 cities altogether under the Wizard universe for Wizard Worlds. New York, Boston, Chicago, where we're at, Philadelphia, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, and many, many more.
And yet, what do they also all have in common?
What?
Marvel and DC ignore them all.
Yes, Marvel and DC ignore all the Wizard Worlds. Go figure!
They never show up.
Go figure. They also added the Mid-Ohio Con last year, which they'll be doing this year. That's another one of their.
And the one coming up in Gary.
So
it's called Bullet Con.
When Wizard 1 first came out, I hadn't opened up Alternate Reality yet.
Jim Lee cover?
This man right here was running Friendly Frank's Comics.
Yes, I was.
Over in Alsip,
running
Illinois.
it right into the ground.
Running it into the ground.
It's not even 2 inches off the ground anymore.
Hey, Friendly Frank. So you were here at the inception. You were here at the ground floor.
I was, yeah. And this thing hit the ground running. I mean, people were really interested in it the moment this thing sort of hit the racks.
I found the issue completely unreadable.
Yeah, I was not a fan of it either. The price guide kind of worried me because I always thought Overstreet was the tip of the top with the
It actually was at that point.
And this magazine seemed to really want to make everybody get excited about hoarding comics and paying for your Ferrari with them and things like that.
But it had a really spiffy cover.
They had spiffy covers, but I always resented them for
that.
They took the fun out of it. As much as they want to say they're having fun with this, they took the fun out of collecting comics for the most part. And you know what? This is going away as a print medium. But their online presence.
It'll live on in the internet world. And if you've been to the internet site, there's really nothing there.
So you have to go buy a computer.
The print version of this is dead, but supposedly they're going to launch an online version of it. Now, Wizard already has a website. They've had it for a long time. It pushes the cons, and they talked a little bit about this. Supposedly, this is going to have a much bigger impact on the website. We will wait and see whether or not that happens.
Or if they're going to actually make it an online subscription website to get your monthly online version of Wizard, which I always find to be kind of a joke.
Maybe we'll take over the
and
Wizard.
thanks for the conventions too, guys, by the way.
Yeah, they're special.
Two things I want to mention about Wizard before we go on to the next topic. One, when this first came out, my favorite magazine of this type was Amazing Heroes. Remember Amazing Heroes?
I remember Amazing Heroes.
That was a great
Amazing
little
Heroes was
fanzine,
cool.
and this put Amazing Heroes out of business.
Amazing
there was
Too
another
many
one.
words, comic book man.
There was another one out. There was another one out at
Yes.
the same time called Hero Illustrated,
Illustrated.
which
That
you
one
know a little bit about.
Yes,
That
a
one
friend of mine
really
was.
sucked.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine was editor in chief. That one was actually published out in Lombard, Illinois.
Okay, that was
Not
published here in
Lombard,
Lombard, Illinois.
And they tried to bend over backwards to take over, compete with this.
Jim
as much
Lee was
as
on the
possible.
cover of that one.
Yeah.
Picture of Jim
What
Lee.
Yeah,
fills
tons
in the
of
gap
content.
with this con?
Nothing.
Nothing. No, well, no. Comics Buyer's Guide is still publishing out there. Comics Buyer's Guide, which used to be a weekly newspaper for decades and decades and decades, went to monthly publication because of this.
Yeah, right.
And now that that's gone, Comics Buyer's Guide is still out there, and it's still monthly now. It's not weekly anymore. So and that was the other thing I was going to
It'd be
mention.
interesting to see if they go back to a newspaper format.
You could.
Also this week, of course, the Human Torch is dead.
What?
The Human Torch is dead.
What?
I hate to
Who
break it.
wrote
When the hell did that happen?
Baloney, settle down.
Marvel announced to us retailers like me that we could sell last week that we could sell that issue not on Wednesday but on Tuesday, one day early, and so we all put up our copies on Tuesday. But by the time we got our stores open, everybody knew everything there was to know about this because
stories
Yahoo
broke
News,
everywhere.
AP,
Monday night.
USA Today,
Monday.
Entertainment Weekly. By the time Monday night, Tuesday morning came around, everything you ever want to know about this book was out on the internet. There were no surprises to be had. If you waited till Wednesday to pick up your new comics to get this book, you were already 24 to 48 hours behind the curve.
However, the bagged issues of the Fantastic Four was the 587.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hickman, the writer, signed about. Nobody really knows how many he signed, but he signed a bunch of copies, and so some people picked up their issue. They opened up the polybag and they went, "Hey, what the heck is this?" And it was signed by the writer.
Somebody wrote all over my comic.
Yeah.
We wrote all over
It's
my
not
cover.
mint anymore.
So you may have a signed copy of Fantastic Four 587 in your poly bag and
What
not
he-
even know it.
What he initially did was he signed the poly bag, but
Yes.
because it's black, you couldn't
Couldn't
see
see
it.
it.
So you know
Yeah,
that was a
there you
problem.
go.
Yeah, so
He signed it with this.
Yeah.
He didn't sign his own name.
And apparently Marvel said the book will never ever be out of print. Is that
Darth
what they said?
Vader.
Well, they're never going to put the first print back in with a black bag. Whatever was out there is out there. That's over. It's finished. It's done. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth print time, kids.
I'm having a flashback
Joe
to
Posada's doing
1995.
Really? What happened in 1995?
Oh, somebody else died. Some other superhero.
You had your
Actually, it
first
wasn't
big
90.
black-
It wasn't 95. It was earlier.
earlier than
You
that?
had your first Big Mac.
Black bag comic,
Yeah.
death of a character, and here we go with multiple printings.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah,
those
thanks a
people.
lot, guys.
Those people still put their kids in college for that Death of Superman.
No, they didn't.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't.
Also this week, it was announced that Marvel.
No, it hasn't been announced.
Not
It's
official,
been
not officially,
rumored.
but the rumors are out there, and they're probably
Rumored.
true. That Marvel is going to follow DC with its drawing the line at $2.99 price point. What do you think of that, Bo?
Well, the deal is it's not everything in the Marvel Universe. The X-Men books are not going to go down to $2.99. It's most brand new titles. Now, the deal is when Marvel officially announces this, in supposedly for the May shipping,
Yeah.
you will get 20-page books. They'll be $2.99, but what you will also get to offset the fact that the creators aren't going to get paid what they would get paid if the book was in the higher thing, you will get an extra issue of a Marvel book every year, sometimes more
An
than
additional
that.
$2.99.
Well, essentially,
Yes, essentially, yeah.
essentially what he's trying to say is they're cutting 4 pages out of the book. You add those 4 pages up by 12, you've got another book more or less. So Marvel's going to run an additional book or 2 for each series that goes back
they're
to
still making the
$2.99
same amount of
each
money.
year. So
Yeah,
they're still making the same amount of money.
Now, I don't know if they're going to do what DC. DC's reintroducing the letters pages in
Are
their
they?
$2.99 books.
Yeah.
So did
Marvel.
you say that they're paying artists less to do the $2.99 books?
Well, no, they're getting paid the same amount. They're just doing fewer pages.
You're
There
doing,
you go.
yeah. I mean, no.
You're getting paid $10 an hour, but you're not getting 10 hours. You're getting 8 hours.
You're getting your normal page rate when you
Yeah,
cut
your
it to
normal page rate,
$2.99, but you're not doing as many pages.
That's
Does
what
that
I
open
just
the door-
said.
Right.
Does
Thank-
that open
so,
the door to
thank
crappy
you.
artists?
Thank you for
Oh,
translating.
no.
Thank you,
so,
Captain Redundant.
No. So
Yeah, if I wanna see
DC
it again, I'll
artists
just play it
are
again.
making less. Marvel artists will not be losing any money.
Okay. Over in the
Welcome to
DC,
the new
over the
economy
DC universe, there's going to be 14 tie-ins to Flashpoint.
All $3.99, by the way.
Now, for those of you who don't know what Flashpoint is,
No, not 14. 15.
well, there's a 15.
One hasn't been announced yet.
One hasn't been announced yet.
Well, that's the
15.
deal breaker for me. I was in at 14.
No,
but
there's
15,
more.
Forget
There's,
it.
JR, there's more.
They can't
There's
get
more.
Flashpoint.
But there's more.
There'll also be a series of one-shots
Yes,
surrounding the entire
which they
Flashpoint
won't be able
event.
to get out.
Now, all these limited series will be 3 issues. They'll all be $3.99.
Yeah.
DC hasn't announced who's drawing or writing any of them.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be great.
I'm thinking they're supposed to be going to be announcing this Friday coming up.
Okay, Flashpoint, these miniseries, okay, are going across this event, are going to concentrate on different areas of the DC universe. They're going to get changed. There's going to be one on Gotham. There's going to be one on Europe. There's going to be one on supervillains. There's going to be one on whatever happened to the aliens, whatever happened to science and magic, whatever happened to Europe, as I said,
Macrame.
and everything you ever wanted to know about the Flash that is changing.
Now, one of the things that
Except
DC's
his
already
costume.
told you is changing is Eben Sur is not going to die.
No!
The Earth in Flashpoint.
Oh, see, I heard he wasn't going to be fast
No.
anymore.
And they said that this is not an alternate universe. This is something else different.
It's not a parallel Earth.
It's
not a mirror universe. Instead, what they're going to do is dink with the timeline. For
Yes.
anyone out there who remembers
Timeline
Zero Hour,
fun.
if anyone remembers Zero Hour,
it would
this
suck.
is a Crisis on Infinite Earths without having Infinite Earths.
Wait a
It's a Crisis on Infinite Timeline.
So if it's
password-
0 hour, does that mean Dan Jurgens is working on something?
no, I
else?
don't
The
think so.
password is dig.
Password is
And people
dead.
wonder why nobody's reading comics
15.
anymore.
Because they dink.
Media news.
Yes.
Oh.
Media news.
Yes.
I just perked up.
Media
What?
news.
What's up? What's up?
They,
You're gonna buy Flashpoint.
one of the dollops of fun that got dropped on us this week was Will Smith and Jay-Z announcing that they're probably going to remake Annie,
Yes.
the musical,
Will Smith is
with
dead.
with an all African American cast,
Will Smith is
Yeah,
dead
but
set on
there's
getting
no
all of
way
his
of-
children into movies
and
at
his
some point.
and his daughter's going to be Annie.
His daughter's going to be Annie.
You know, actually, I've heard that song, and it doesn't suck, but I wouldn't buy the album.
do we
Well, this is all based on a Jay-Z song
Yeah.
where he put a reference about Daddy Warbucks into the song,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the catalyst for Jay-Z and Will Smith saying, "Let's remake Annie a
And you
la
know-
a la The Wiz."
And you know why this project is going on?
Why is that, Bo?
Glee. Everyone
Glee.
wants to do musicals.
Oh.
Glee's made the musical fashionable again, and so they're just going to go nuts.
So, what do you think about an African American Annie?
I didn't give a crap about a non-African American.
Yeah, but
You know,
you give it to the market, and the market will pay for it.
Exactly, it's what the market will bear. I mean, is it a problem that it's an African American version of Annie? The character's always been Caucasian, but I guess you could play around with that.
Does that mean Lawrence Fishburne's going to play Daddy
it just
Warbucks?
seems so cynical. This whole
Jeffrey
thing.
Holder's
Oh,
still
come on,
alive,
now,
isn't he?
two words, The Wiz.
Yeah, and that went over really well when you had Dorothy played by
I was
Diana
told-
Ross, who was already pushing 40, playing a girl,
I
a
was
little
I
girl.
was told on Facebook by many of my African American friends on Facebook that The Wiz is huge in the African American community. I have no idea if that's true or not. Well, I'm not being a member of that community. I don't know, but I was told that The Wiz is huge in the African American community. I will take that as a given because I don't know, but I'll tell you something. In the rest of the community, it ain't big.
It's actually kind of a lousy film.
I
I'm
think
not
it's gotten
going.
bigger since Michael Jackson got bigger.
I'm not
A
going.
little.
No,
I ain't going
all
to.
I know is I won't be going to see it.
I'm big on the keeping fidelity to these characters. I wasn't big on a black Kingpin, not because you had an African American playing him, because the character isn't black in the comics. Okay, and I'm not big on a black Annie. Sorry.
She can have the red wig.
Yes, the red wig, red curly wig. Wonder Woman is back.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We talked before about Wonder Woman on
Spinbo.
Media Newses and on Week in Review. This was shelved a couple of weeks back.
But-
and what's his face?
Something amazing happened.
What's
Well,
his,
amazing,
who's
such a
worked on
big
this
word.
thing?
David E. Kelly.
David E. Kelly did a whole buttload of work on this thing. They couldn't find a home for it, and it got shelved. And what I said was, if he did all his work on this thing, they're not going to shelve it. It's going to wind up someplace.
Well, something did
And
happen to
something
to light
big
the, light the
happened to
fire,
light the flame.
What?
Harry's Law is a hit.
which is
Really?
which is
David E. Kelly makes the show. They went, let's make David happy. Let's approve this. Now, they haven't announced the director yet, but
What
we're
the hell is
assuming
Harry's Law?
We're assuming that
That's
it'll
a
be
show he's
directed
doing right
by
now. Oh.
McGee.
Is that the one with Kathy Bates?
McGee has a lot
Yes,
of
the one with Kathy Bates
yeah,
and a gun.
exactly.
Kathy Bates and a gun.
That's the show.
Why is McGee directing
Well, he has
this
a lot
thing?
of action television.
He's
though, doesn't
executive.
he?
He executive
Really?
produces Nikita, Human Target, Supernatural,
He
and Chuck.
directed the pilots for Nikita
All of
and
them.
Chuck.
So where's this going to wind up at?
NBC.
NBC?
It's the only show that NBC has picked up after the Comcast deal because they had no program.
Diana Prince will be a modern executive
Yes, she'll be a
in a
modern
major
executive.
corporation
Yes.
who by night is a crime fighter.
Yes, so it's
As
not
long
really
as she's
Wonder Woman.
as long as she's in she can be an Amazon.
Nobody's
No,
talking.
she's not. Well,
Nobody's talking.
I think she's going to be wearing that. What outfit was she wearing? Was she wearing
The
the
Jim Lee
Ching
thing?
outfit? No, she's not wearing the Jim
Oh,
Lee
she's
outfit.
not going to be
The
wearing.
leather
She's
with
not
the
going to be wearing the
jacket?
Emma Peel outfit.
I think she's going to be wearing the black.
I don't think she's going to
zip-up
be in the Emma
thingy.
Peel outfit.
I think that's what she's going to be wearing.
Also, Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels has been
back.
cast. We've got the cast.
The
for Charlie's
new
Angels.
Angels are Minka Kelly, who's in Friday Night Lights, is also the current girlfriend of Derek Jeter, plays for the Yankees. Rachel Taylor, who's the lead in the new Transformers film. And Annie Alonzeth, who's a big star on ABC's soap General Hospital. That is more than likely going to be one of the shows ABC picks up for the fall. Okay.
And one of those characters, I guess, is named Kelly, which they're thinking of changing because it's the same name that...
Yeah, they may change the names because they said that the characters are going to have completely different backgrounds. They're not kids coming out of the academy. One's like the daughter of a KGB agent.
Yeah, they're gonna call
One's an
Hank.
FBI guy. So
And as we mentioned in media news, Robert Wagner will be the voice of Charlie.
Angels.
Telling the angels how to get a reverse mortgage.
Hi, Charlie.
And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more Week in Review, but you can go to the store's website and check out all of the Weeks in Reviews and everything else that we do. And the store's website, of course, is at
www.myalternatereality.com.
So go to the store's website, check it all out. Until next time, this is Comic Book Man
Bo.
JR.
saying
And Johnny Storm.
bye.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.